Hello and welcome back to AC Tabletop Gaming. It's been very quiet and I will take a lot of the responsibility on that one. Chris and I had the intention of getting some battle reports filmed and kind of doing all that good stuff that you see everybody on YouTube achieving these days, but I just don't have enough painted armies and all of that kind of stuff to keep up with what my intentions are. So this is a bit of a hobby first episode. I guess we'll call this Hobby Intentions because it's all a bit of chaos at the minute. And I can't be the only person that ends up in this just chaos of part finished projects here and there. In my defense, I will say that we've had a lot of building work going on at home, and my ability to get a project out and kind of have it to hand so that I can work on it hasn't been great. And on a positive note, I've also been given a little small box room underneath the stairs that I've been told I can turn into a computer room type setup. You might be able to hear the 3D printer going in the background, and we've got some terrain which I'm printing off for Chris, and that is hopefully going to be part of a how will I word it, an escalating narrative campaign that we're going to do for 40k, and that will be starting off with a small band of inquisitors type thing like that, going into a ship and uncovering a Xenos or heretical plot, and then hopefully we'll take that one right the way through to a full-blown battle down on a planet's surface, and hopefully we're going to tie it into Armageddon, which we are returning to. Anyway, projects. I've got loads of part finished things on the go. I have 10 of the beautiful Space Wolf scalps, which I'm hoping to get all done and dusted in the month of March. It's now halfway through. I definitely need to get a couple done because Chris and I, we might put those through and use them in the, can't really focus on that one. We might use those for the campaign and have them kind of overseeing the Inquisitors because there's a bit of beef. Just going to pause the printer. So I've got 10 Terminator Wolf Guards. I have 10 Grey Hunters here, and all their shoulder pads. Definitely slows me down because I like to keep things separate so I can paint them and paint the details that I'll never see, and then it ends up me not actually doing any painting because they're all in bits, and then I get distracted by someone else. So I've got 10 there. I've got another 10 up on top of the computer tower, which are a bit more further on in the build. And I also have a part finished 30k Malcador. Amazing, beautiful vehicle. That one's been magnetized. Even managed to sneak some magnets into the turret, if you can see that. Beautiful kit. A lot cheaper than the resin ones. Happy days. And what else have I got here? More Space Wolf arms. And I also have some Solar Auxilia troops, which are all kind of part done. And this is like my overnight. I work away with my job quite a lot. So I try and take some models to paint, but usually, to be honest, by the time I've done a day, I'm pretty cooked. But these are part done. They need washes and all that kind of stuff. But there's 10 in there, and my intention with the Solar Auxilia is to tie them into my night house, which there we go. Tie them into my night house. Something I started off with Knights in 40k, and I've always felt like they've needed kind of foot troops. And I do think that I think that if Games Workshop expanded the Knight range, not only with new chassis and different sizes of Knights and all that kind of stuff, but I do think that if they had things like troops and maybe even just allowed like guard and things like that to be tied into them, I think it might help with the balancing, because then you wouldn't have to have an army of just big stompy robots, which I think, let's face it, they've struggled with getting them balanced. Straight out of the door in 10th edition, they were crazy. Undercosted, overpowered. And I've kind of lost touch of 10th edition, but I think now they're not doing too badly. But they've definitely came out of the gates very, very hot. They've been nerfed and gone down, and I think they've balanced out now. So 40k wise, I think if they did that, it would help to balance them out. And then when the 3rd edition of Horus Heresy came out, there is actually a detachment in there which I thought absolutely perfect. Happy days. There's a detachment where you can run Solar Auxilia in with them. I need to work on the old focusing and lighting and God knows what else. So they're part done. But my idea is to create some kind of narrative where the Imperial Knights are basically sponsoring these Solar Auxilia little task force, and they go off and do their bidding, and so that's my ideas with that. And 3rd edition Solar Auxilia book completely beautifully tied into that. So right, I've got 10 odd troops to do. I've got 10 Wolf Guard, 20 Grey Hunters to finish, and I've got that one to finish getting built. There's enough to be doing. So these are some of my hobby intentions, and maybe every week I'll do a little update of where I've got and hold myself accountable. So what are you guys working on, and what can I do to not end up with 20 odd half finished projects and getting distracted by the next shiny thing that GW brings out? Definitely guilty of that one. Leave a comment down below, let us know what you're working on and any ideas to help me out, please. That would be great.